Good morning and welcome back to the Foshed Pit. Today we're going to be talking about the bad Juju, which in my opinion is one of the most underrated exotic primaries in the game. Of course it is an exotic primary, so that means you can't use Xenophage with it, but with how prevalent Falling Guillotine is right now, it's not a huge deal. The bad Juju is a 450 RPM pulse rifle, and it's got pretty normal weapon perks, but its intrinsic trait, String of Curses, is really strong. It's really everything you could want in a weapon and more, because it combines the beautiful things of reload perk with damage perk, but it also charges your super, but it also reloads your weapon without you having to reload at all, and generates ammo out of thin air. And the damage perk, String of Curses, stacks up to 5 times, and it wasn't nerfed in Shadowkeep, so when you get it up to String of Curses times 5, you're doing twice as much damage as with no stacks at all. Now, how String of Curses works is that each kill you get with this weapon, it will instantly refill your entire magazine just out of thin air. It generates ammo, so you don't actually have to worry about running out of ammo at all, because you will rarely be reloading this thing on your own. It also, as I said, increases damage from String of Curses, stacking from 0 to 1 to 3 to 4 to 5, and at 5 times of String of Curses it will have twice as much damage. And the exotic catalyst for bad Juju actually increases how long String of Curses lasts for, so it's pretty easy to keep stacks of this going, especially if you're doing anything with ad clear, which is where this weapon shines. And the final part of String of Curses is that each kill you get with the weapon charges your super, and the higher stack of String of Curses you have, the more super you will get for each kill. So really, just by using the weapon, you're reloading the weapon, you're making the weapon do more damage, you're charging your super so you can use that a lot more often, and it pairs really well both in PvE and PvP with a number of other exotics out there. For example, I was using it in PvP just the other day with Chaos Reach and Geomag stabilizers, and I was getting 3, sometimes 4. I think I had one game where I got 5 Chaos Reaches in a single game. Just playing control using bad Juju and a shotgun. I didn't even have pump action on, so it's really easy to get your super charged up really quickly in PvP. It's also really effective in PvE for any mode where you're going to have to do a lot of ad clear very quickly. A couple notable examples that I would give would be Gambit, where you're just clearing ads non-stop. Reckoning it's great in Reckoning because you get to charge your super on the bridge encounter just over and over again. It's great for Escalation Protocol. I really like to use bad Juju for the first encounter of Crown of Sorrows, and also for the first and second encounter of Garden of Salvation, just because there's so many ads to clear and boss DPS isn't really the main focus, so you can just kind of focus up on charging your super, getting lots of kills, stringing kills together, and clearing ads, and it works really great for that. I really like to pair bad Juju with Chaos Reach and Geomag stabilizers, as you can see in the PvP gameplay and PvE gameplay in the background. It also works really well if you're running a Devour Warlock, because each kill you get, in addition to charging your super and increasing your damage and reloading your weapon, it now also heals you and charges your grenade, so really, you're just getting everything by using this one weapon. It also works well on Hunters if you're using Celestial Nighthawk, because each kill that you get with Nighthawk will leave you with a large amount of super left over, and with Practice Makes Perfect, you're going to be getting your super up very often. You can also use it if you have Orpheus rigs on. For each tether you get, you'll be getting a bunch of super energy back by default. Kind of the same thing with Skull of Daira Hamkara also on Warlock. I'm sure there's a Titan equivalent, but I don't really know anything about Titans, so if you want to fill that in the comments, you're more than welcome. Another very strong exotic to pair with bad Juju would be Phoenix Protocol. As you can see in the Tribute Hall footage in the background here, I'm able to get my super back up before my first Well of Radiance even runs out, just by killing these 4 enemies as fast as they're spawning. So if you ever have an encounter that's just feeding ads at you, such as the Reckoning, or Altar of Sorrows, or Escalation Protocol, or a whole bunch of stuff in the game right now, this is going to be really strong because you'll just always have a Well of Radiance going, and your team is going to love you for that. Another great thing about the bad Juju is that it is an exotic, so it's not going to be sunset at the end of this season, or ever. However, the exotic quest to get bad Juju is locked behind the Tribute Hall, which is going to be put into the Destiny content vault at the end of this season. So if you don't have the bad Juju yet, you should definitely go out there, try to get it. I think you need to place a couple tributes before you're able to access the quest and the mission that you need to do to get the weapon. But it doesn't take exceedingly long. The mission's not too bad. Make sure you try and get the catalyst as well. You need to place 45 tributes before you're able to get that. but the catalyst does help significantly, both because it increases the amount of time you get for your string of curses stacks, and it also lets you generate orbs of light on multi-kills, which you're going to be getting a ton of with this weapon. It also gives you a kill tracker, which if you're like me, you like to know how many kills you get on each weapon. There's a handful of other exotic weapons that are going to have their quest to obtain them put into the Destiny content vault for either the weapon itself or their catalysts. The short list of weapons that I would say you need to make sure that you have moving forward is going to be Izanagi's Burden, Thorn, Ace of Spades, Sleeper Simulant, and it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to try and get Polaris Lance on the off chance that Bungie decides to make Scout Rifles usable again. You should also try and acquire or complete the catalysts for all of these. There are a couple weapons that appear to have their catalysts being removed, but not the quest to acquire the weapons themselves being removed. Two of these that I would really recommend going forward would be Whisper of the Worm and Outbreak Perfected. You should also definitely complete the Izanagi's Burden catalyst if you have the chance. As the PvE Classic combination of Mountaintop Recluse is getting sunset at the end of this season, I feel as though other combinations of weapons will definitely be coming out to shine, and I think that one combination is going to be Bad Juju with either Truth Teller or Orwing's Maul, both of which are energy weapon grenade launchers that kind of fill the role that Mountaintop did, except not being super duper overpowered. You are also able to pair Bad Juju with the 7 Seraph shotgun, which is very strong as it can roll Assault Mag and Vorpal Weapon, as well as the reissued versions of the Ikelos Sniper and the Ikelos Shotgun, the First In Last Out Slug Shotgun. I think the Prophet of Doom might be a good choice, but really any energy weapon that you get a good roll on will be usable with the Bad Juju. I will definitely recommend trying to get a good roll on a Truth Teller or Orwing's Maul though. Go for something like Field Prep with Spike Grenades and preferably auto-loading holster, but to each their own. It's a very strong pseudo replacement to the Mountaintop. All of that being said, I don't claim to know what's going on behind the scenes of Bungie, and I don't claim the Bad Juju is going to be the best weapon for every encounter, but when there's an encounter where there's a bunch of ads to clear, and maybe supers are a lot more useful to have very often, like the Reckoning when it first came out, I'm willing to bet the Bad Juju is going to be one of the best weapons that you can use for that encounter. This is all just my experience and speculation with the Bad Juju, but I'd be curious to see what other people think about what weapons are going to be the best for future seasons. I'll definitely be taking a closer look at a couple other exotic primaries like Ace of Spades, Outbreak Perfected, and the Huckleberry. However, if you'd like to share your own speculations, feel free to toss them in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video. You are now legally allowed to exit the Foshed pit.